Hello everyone. Suppose you have a large dataset and you want to extract the unique records of customers who have purchased a specific product. Then you know how important it is to extract unique values based on criteria in Excel. Here you can do this within a click. So this is Zehad and Jim from Excel Amy, and today we'll learn several methods on how to extract unique values based on criteria in Excel. Before going into the methods, let's talk about the dataset a bit. Here we have information about companies and device categories such as notebooks and desktop sold in the months of June and July. Our target is to extract unique values based on device category of notebook and desktop column individually in column E and F. So without any further discussion, let's get started. In our first method, we'll combine unique and filter functions for single criteria extraction in our Excel. To do that, we'll go to the E5 cell and insert the unique function. The unique function returns the values from a range or array. Now, in this section, we have three parameters. In the array parameter, we'll insert the filter function, which basically filter a range or array. As we're trying to get the result of a single notebook, then we'll try to get our first array as C5 to C14. Next, we'll include device category, which is D5 to D14. And as we're trying to get the result only for the notebooks, so we'll select E4 as our main criteria. If you click on the enter button, then we'll get our perfect result. Now, let's take a close look at the result. At first, we have found our first notebook in the D5 cell, so we have shown the company name here in the column E. Again, we have got our next notebook in the D7 cell, so we have shown the company name here in the column E. So, we have successfully created notebook company names in column E. Now, we want to get the same result for the desktop. We'll select the E5 cell and copy down it by using Ctrl+C. Now you can easily go to the F5 cell and insert the Ctrl+V in the keyboard. But as we are trying to get the result for the desktop in the F4 cell, so we'll change the formula. In the E4 section, we'll write down F4 and hit the enter button. Then we'll get the companies who have purchased desktop in the month of June or July. So that's single criteria for you. Now, we'll again use the combination of unique and filter functions, but this time we'll use multiple criteria to extract unique values. To do that, we'll go to the G5 cell and insert the unique function to extract the unique values. At first, we have the filter function in our array section, which basically filters a range or array. In this section, we'll again select C5 to C14. After that, we'll go for our next criteria, which is in this case D5 to D14. As we're trying to get the result of notebook and HP, so we want to get the result of notebook here. So you can easily select notebook from any of the cell of column D. So select D5, and after that we'll go for our next criteria. So we'll use multiplication in the keyboard, and after that we'll go for the criteria of E5 to E14. But as we're trying to get the result for HP, so we'll have to select HP from the column E. So select E6 in this section. Now if we click on the enter button, then we'll get our perfect result here. If we look correctly, then you will see that in the row 11, you have notebook and HP all together, and so it has shown the result of company name computer sphere in the G5 cell. So that's multiple criteria extraction for you. Now we'll combine unique and filter functions to extract multiple criteria with alternatives. To do that, here in the G4 cell, we have criteria of HP or ASUS. So we'll go to the G5 cell and insert our unique function to search these alternatives. The unique function returns the value of unique in the range or array. So select our filter function in the array section, which basically filters a range or array. Now we'll go for C5 to C14. but here we are trying to get the result for HP or ASUS. So at our first criteria, we'll go for the E5 to E14 cell, but we are trying to get the HP first. So we'll get the HP in this column, which is in the E6 cell, or represent by using plus sign. We'll go for the same column, and now we'll go for the ASUS, which is in this case in the E7 cell. Now if we click the enter button, then we'll get our perfect result for HP or ASUS. So that's how you can easily use the unique and filter functions for multiple criteria with alternatives. Now we'll apply array formula to extract single criteria in Excel. To do that, we'll use the combination of if error, index, match, if, and countif functions. So at first we'll go to the E5 cell and insert our combination of if and countif function. Now we'll insert the if function first. In the logical section, we'll go for the E4 as we are trying to get the result for notebook. Then we'll make it permanent by using the F4 in the keyboard. Now we'll select the range where we want to search the value. So it is D5 to D14 where we want to get the result. So we'll use again F4 in the keyboard to make it permanent. After that, we'll go for value if true. In this section, we'll use the count if function to count the range values. At first, we'll select the E4 and then again we'll go for the range as E4. To make it permanent, we'll select the value and make it permanent by using F4 in the keyboard. So let's move on to our next section. In our next section, we'll go for the range. In the range criteria section, we'll go for the C5 to C14 section, and to make it permanent, we'll again go for F4 in the keyboard. Now, as we are trying to get the result value if false, so we'll write down double quotation and blank and click the enter button to get the result. Now you will see where it has found the match, it has shown the 0, but where it has found no match, it has shown the blank cell. Now we'll go to the E5 cell again, and as we're trying to get the result of the searching single criteria, so we'll develop it by using index and match function. So at first we'll use index function as we are trying to get the result to store the cell function with an array reference and show the names of the shops in multiple cases. So at first we'll go to the criteria section. In the array, we'll select C5 to C14, and to make it permanent, we'll use F4 in the keyboard. After that, we'll go for our next criteria, which is in this case the row number. As row number, we'll go for the match function. So the match function searches for the match in this section. We're trying to get the value for the 0 where it is found in the next section, and now we have gone for it. After that, if I go to the last section, then we'll go our exact match. So I'll select exact match as our option, and after that, if we click the double quotation, then we'll get our perfect result for the E5 cell. To drag down the formula to the very last cell, then you will see you have got the values where you need it, but now where there is no values found, it has shown the error. To handle the error, we want to use the if error function. So we'll go to the E5 cell and insert the if error function. Now we'll move on to the last section, and where it has found any kind of value if error, then it will show a blank cell. So if we click on the enter button, then we'll get our perfect result. Now drag down the formula to the very last cell to get the same result here. Now if we want to same result for the desktop, then we'll copy down the formula of E5 cell and paste it here, but we want to replace it from notebook to desktop. So we can easily go to the F4 in the keyboard and write down F4 here. We will replace every E4 with F4 in this formula. Now if we click the enter button, then we will get our perfect result for the F5 cell. Now drag down the formula to every cell to get the same result. So that's how you can easily use array formula to get the single criteria extraction in Excel. Now we want to apply array formula to multiple criteria extraction in Excel. To do that, we'll use the combination of if error, index, match, countif, and if function all together. So at first we'll go to the G5 cell and start our formula. In the G5 cell, we'll insert the count if function, which basically searches and counts the number within the range of a given condition. So as range, we'll select the G4, and to make it range, we'll again use it and make it permanent by using F4 in the keyboard. After that, we'll go for next section, which is in this case the criteria. As criteria, we'll select C5 to C14 and again make it permanent by using F4 in the keyboard. Now we'll go for our next section using the if function. So we'll add plus sign, and in the if function we'll write down it, and in the logical test we'll go for the D5 to D14 section, and to make it permanent we'll go for the F4 in the keyboard. And as we're trying to get the values from the logical test section, so we'll go for the D5 in this case, as we're trying to get the result for notepad. Now again we'll make it permanent by using F4 in the keyboard. Now in the value if true section we'll write down 1, but value if false then we'll write down 0. And again we'll do the same for the plus sign and if function to get the result for HP. So we'll again go for the E5 to E14 cell, make it permanent by using F4 in the keyboard, and then we'll again use the sign of E6 of HP. And now if it finds the match, it will show 1, otherwise value if false it will show 0. After that we'll go for our section and hit the enter button. Now you will get the result for the G column. Now we want to develop it by using the match function. So we'll go to the G5 cell and insert the match function here. Match function basically searches for the value of the selected section. So we'll write down 0 in this section and go for countif as our lookup array. But in the last section we'll again go for the lookup array, and the match type will be the exact match. So select it and then we'll go for the enter button. Then we'll see it has shown that it has found 7 matches within the section. Now in the next section we'll develop it by using the index function. So in the index function we'll search for the row array and select the stores value in it. Now we'll again go for the company name C5 to C14 within it, and to make it permanent we'll again select it and press F4 in the keyboard. After that, in its logical section, we'll go for the row number, and as row number we have already got the match function, countif and if function combination. But in its last section we have got the values. So if we click the enter button, then we'll got our first name here. That's how you can easily use array formula for multiple criteria extraction. So that's it for today. You can use any of these methods accordingly, or you can download the practice workbook from the link below. Hope this will help you. If you have any questions, suggestions or feedback, please let us know in the comment section, or you can have a glance at exceldemy.com. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, please consider subscribing for more content like this.